Why are dogs so loyal? Have you ever wondered why dogs are so loyal? Known as man's best friend, dogs have slowly and steadily evolved over many thousands of years to become an integral part of modern families. Could it be down to simple survival, or is there something much deeper, more emotional? We're going to dive into the history and the science to try to answer this question and find out why dogs care so much about us. But before we do, don't forget to let us know in the comments section below what you found most interesting about this video, and give us a thumbs up if you really enjoyed it. Be sure to hit the red subscribe button below and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos as soon as they get uploaded. Okay, so how did our relationship with wolves start to get less confrontational and more compatible? After all, it's a big step to go for a wolf seeing the first humans as nothing more than food, to becoming part of the family, right? Well, let's start with the fact that dogs as a species, which in this instance also includes wolves, are not stupid. You only have to look at how good they are at sniffing things out, which doesn't only include escaped prisoners. In fact, scientists now believe that dogs are the best way to identify if someone has the COVID-19 virus. That's just amazing. They can also count and are capable of performing quite complex tasks, although much depends on what kind of treat they get rewarded with at the end. But putting that back into the context of prehistoric man beginning to work with the gray wolf, it would make sense that both human and wolf developed a mutual benefit. Wolves could smell potential prey better than a human could, which of course made hunting much easier, and the wolves would benefit in scavenging the remnants of a kill made by humans. It also appears to have made sense for man to encourage closer interaction with a more domesticated dog in order to provide protection for the group, and possibly companionship when away from the camp hunting or scouting. So all that gives us a good starting point, but it doesn't fully explain why our canine friends have become so loyal, although the more than $100 billion spent each year on dog food, toys, and grooming might help. But we digress. As man's relationship with the wolf evolved, man slowly but surely began to select the traits that would benefit more. For example, a dog that could not or would not work well with its human counterparts would not be selected for breeding, but one that worked with humans would. Not too weak, but also not overly aggressive either. Slowly but steadily, man bred out the wolf and developed the domestic dog, feeding and caring for them, making their survival more sustainable than taking a chance on the prairie or in the forest on their own. We're not entirely sure how long this took or when it started, but it's believed the process began some 130,000 years ago. Of course, the selective breeding wasn't just about making a wolf into a more cuddly version of itself. The reason there are so many different breeds of dog is due to humans hitting on something that dogs can do really well, and then making sure only the best continue with the breeding process. So, bigger, braver dogs would be great for guarding herds further on in time, whilst shorter dogs would be able to pick up the scent of prey easier, although I'm still not quite sure where the Chihuahua fits into all of this. But anyway, moving on. Alright, so you might be thinking that this is all well and good, but where's the science, guys? Well, funny you should be thinking that. You were thinking that, right? Okay, so here's the thing. Both dogs and humans are social creatures. We know dogs will, given the chance, integrate into packs. As an example, look at the Siberian Husky in its natural environment. Each husky relies on the other members of the pack to work together and to understand the landscape and everything within it to ensure both dogs and humans complete each trip safely. We also know from studies conducted during wartime that when dogs were used, they were far more effective at their role with a handler they had grown accustomed to than one they had yet to form any kind of relationship with. It's to do with a hormone called oxytocin that increases in both dog and human the more they both interact together. This all makes sense, given a pack will likely spend much of its time socializing, but with humans, there's oftentimes an added bonus in that a dog may well end up with a treat. So does that mean the domestic dog has substituted one pack for another? Apparently not quite. We need to go back to the bit about why domestic dogs decided that working closer with humans might be a good idea. Take a recent study that looked at how natural wolf pups behaved versus domesticated malamutes. The wolf pups were much more capable of living and ultimately surviving independently in the wild, whereas the malamutes took much longer to gain anything like the same level of independence, preferring instead human interaction to the point of effectively ignoring the mother in preference for the human owner. Dogs, just as wolves do naturally, will still want to be together. It's just that the domesticated dog has an instinctive understanding that so long as he's in favor with his human companion, he doesn't have to worry about the daily grind of having to hunt, or indeed, not becoming the hunted. You could say he's become part of a family. So what does it all come down to then? Why are dogs so darned loyal? Dogs know full well that we provide for their existence. The domestic dog will more often than not just have to kick back and relax, waiting for his ready-made meal to drop out of the can or bag. It does also raise the point that whilst the dog may recognize a duty of guardianship toward the entire human family, he may favor one or two more than the others. You may have already guessed that a greater degree of loyalty may be shown to the person or persons responsible for feeding and exercising him. They also have an instinctive ability to recognize illness or unhappiness in their human companion. We as humans find it all but impossible to think of such actions as anything but loyalty, rather than chemistry and biology in action. We've actually kind of bred loyalty into the domestic dog. As we've already discussed, any wild dog not showing the right traits would not have been selected for breeding. And finally, it all comes down to science. We both have similar hormones that get released in each other's company, where we know that in humans we feel happy, loving, and wanting to find a sense of belonging. Unfortunately, we can't yet speak with dogs, but scientists are pretty sure our canine friends feel the same way. Thank you for watching. It's been fun having you with us. Did you agree with us? Let us know in the comments and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. We'll see you again soon.